I want to ask my single brothers and sisters out there, are you happy? Are you really happy? I'm curious. Back in the day when I was out there, man, my single meant something different than it means now in 2021. I really need some answers. As always, I brought the backup. You want to meet somebody who's happy to be single? Well, let's talk about it. Mentorship moments, each one teach one. Let me give you just a few stats, and then we'll bring in my special guest. By the way, am I dressed like I'm single like back in the 90s? Ain't this how we used to do it? My buddy John got this for me. Hey, ain't nothing going on here. He wants to go bike riding one day. That's why I'm wearing this. All right, all right. I think it looks kind of fly. It's the sun god. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I like high karate. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Let's talk about. I'm curious. Okay, so let's see. We have 69% of Americans partnered. Okay, cool, right? And this is from the Pew Research Center, because I like to be all official and stuff. And we S. Sanders. Before we pan in, I gotta read her bio, okay? And I'll read it in third person. She is a single life expert using her experience to teach other singles how to live their lives confidently. From around the age of 13 to 30 plus, she was going about dating life. 13? Oh, Lord. Going about dating life all wrong. Her education, work life, and finances were pretty much on point, but her personal setback was wasting time embarrassing the wrong people because she was made to feel as if she was being alone was a tragedy. Wow, that's so deep. I hear so many women that feel that way. Uh, this is a no judgment zone. We are not focusing on you to be married or to keep up with how many kids you have. Instead, the focus is creating your own agenda, dispelling social myths, and redefining the word spinster. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest today, I told you I bring the heat, man. My guest today, and a celebrity, all right, the urban spinster herself, Miss Sadia Sanders. Sadia, how you doing?
Hey, CJ, I'm good.
I mean, listen, before we like really dive into it, and listen, I will give the number early because my people at home, my staff at home, that say you always forget. You want to call in to talk about this subject about being single? It's 323-815-4204. Give us a brief background of your upbringing because I see 13 to 30.
Well, I wasn't dating at 13.
Oh my God! Good Lord, what
No,
was you doing?
I wasn't dating at 13.
Okay. Tell us about your upbringing. Where do we get to this point from start to finish? Your origin, your superhero origins.
My
Talk to me.
superhero. Well, I am from a two-parent home, so that's good. But my parents did separate for about 7 years. I kept saying 5 years, but my dad reminded me after the interview last week, and he's like, "No, it was 7. It wasn't 5." But
And we're talking about Fox Soul. We were both on. She was on the week prior to me, and I was on last night. We'll talk about that in a minute. All right.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Continue.
So they were separated for about 7 years, and during that time, it was just my mom and I. And my mom is from the South, so if you know anything about Southern people, the hospitality, but they're very people pleasing, and they're very in tune with other people's needs. So I grew up always thinking that I had to oblige myself to someone else if I cared about them,
Okay.
whether it be a romantic relationship or a friendship or whatever. It was just that kind of giving environment, but I was not taught discernment.
Now wait a minute. I got to cut you off here because is it a South thing? What part of the South are you from?
My
Your
mother's from
people.
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Okay.
And my
Okay.
dad's people are from Mississippi, so he's first generation Chicago,
Okay.
and I was born in Chicago.
All right, my piece
as
are
well.
from Louisiana, from the South too, and I find myself in my life at one time being a people person too. I wonder if that was it, but I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah,
I digress.
because people pleasing and people person is two different things. People person is you're very social, friendly. You can speak to anybody, very charismatic. But a people pleaser is someone who is always seeking to please the other person, putting that person's needs before your own.
Well, do you find that problematic?
Yes.
Okay, why? Why? Explain.
It's problematic because when you're putting someone else's needs before yours, you really don't get to find out what you like or don't like, what your boundaries are, because you're always seeking to get the approval of someone else. So going back to the Urban Spinster and how that came about, and I mentioned the 13 to 30 plus because I was boy crazy at one time.
Okay,
So
that's fair.
right.
I was girl crazy
Right.
myself.
So you know, Fox
At
Hills
10.
Mall, we going to the mall, we getting on queue, we trying to get the numbers and doing all that kind of stuff. But I wasn't able to formally date until like about 16 or so.
Same here.
But I always had to have a boyfriend because that is the environment I was around. Everybody was like, well, who you talking to? Well, what boy you going out with, or so on. And that even transcends to today.
Okay.
If I go into a social event or a family gathering, Thanksgiving, Christmas, it doesn't matter what it is. So who are you with? So are you married yet? Well, what's going on? Well, what's wrong with you?
No, yeah.
So you get into all of that and you wind up choosing to be with people who you really shouldn't be in touch with at all or connected with at all, but because you hear all those things going on in your head. Well, okay, well, what's wrong with you? Well, you're too picky. Well, you need to give them a chance. Oh, girl, you can fix that.
Okay.
I can't fix people, and I didn't find that out until I had gone through all of these bad relationships. And when you are single, that's really the time for reflection and trying to figure out, okay, well, what happened here? What's the pattern? Why do I always find myself in these situations?
Well, I've known you for a long time, and I've known you as a very fun but very serious and direct person, and being and understanding the fact that you're single and happy. When I discovered that, and I said, man, I got to have you on my show. Let's clear the air right now. Was it the typical because you're bitter, bad relationships? Did somebody beat you or hurt you?
Oh, no, no.
I mean, because you seem like a person of such confidence, man, and I believe that, like, young women and men, they need to see that. What's the why? What is this single thing about?
And see, I think the misconception that I have to clear up with a lot of people. One, I don't hate men.
Okay. I wanted to make that clear.
Because I have cousins who, as soon as I started talking about being single or talking about my past relationships, they saw it as male bashing. And at no point do I ever say or ever have said that I don't like men or you don't need a man. I've never said that out of my mouth. So I want to clear that up too. I'm not choosing to be single. This is just what it is. Mm-hmm. And instead of being desperate or thirsty, as they say now, wow, and getting on all the apps and trying to, well, hook me up with your cousin. And,
Tinder and...
Yeah, and all that kind of stuff. And I have tried online dating. I hate it, by the way. I'm just choosing to enjoy this time in my life. Now, if I meet someone, great. But I'm not just clamoring to be partnered. Because when you do that, you don't have the discernment. You ignore the red flags because our instincts are kicking in all the time. But if you haven't been taught to really listen to your instincts and act on them, or you've been made to feel bad because you act on your instincts, you know immediately when someone's not right for you. Wow. And I have so many stories about.
Well, let me ask you that. There's so many questions I want to ask here and there. Let's back up a little bit. Let's talk about the dating sites. Back when I was single. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Anyway, there's no mute button for that stuff. My bad. Excuse me. Anyway, when I was dating, we met at the mall. We met at grocery stores. Yeah. We met at church. Please tell me what it is about these single sites that you don't like, because I have friends that swear by it. Please, I mean, you got to go in because I'm curious. I'm married.
It's just me. I've known people who have gotten married and divorced, but no people have got married on those type of sites. But for me, I've always met the guys who were lying about either what they did, what they looked like back in the day. When let's put the old picture up from high school.
Yeah.
Or when we were in college and we were fit and fine, and you meet them and that's 40 pounds ago. Or they're not honest about. I met one guy online. I don't even know why he lied. He was married and had a baby on the way. And I knew, I mean, LA is big, but it's small.
Right.
So you have all
Especially
of
in
these.
Black LA.
Oh yeah, Black LA is very small. You went to high school, college, somebody knows
Somebody
somebody.
knows somebody.
Right. And then being in a sorority, I know a lot of fraternity guys and other Greeks. So all I have to do is ask, hey, do you know this guy? And that's what I did, because he was in a fraternity. He was throwing up his sign in the profile picture, mind you. So I said, hey, do you know so-and-so? We had some mutual connections. So the guy that I asked was actually his fraternity brother. So he didn't want to rat him out. He just told me, well, what did he say to you? Where did he say he lived? And he said, I'm not going to put all his business out there, but no, that's enough. Leave him alone.
Right.
And then moving forward, the same guy I had asked for the information, he comes out and tells me the business, because now this guy's tried to talk to his cousin. And that pissed him off. So he was like, man, come on now. Like, he said, he's married, got a baby on the way. So I was like, this man is on a dating site, like a whole dating site.
Well, let me ask you this, because listen, come on, you former players back there that used to do it in person, they used to lie too. Are you saying it's easier to lie now with these dating sites?
Well, if you don't do your research,
Okay.
it's a lot easier, because you can be talking before you actually see the person in real life. So because you're trying to be careful being single, you want to be cautious about who you're meeting up with. So you may keep it on the app for a while, and then it goes to the phone, and then you might meet them. So you could have spent a month or more just talking. Wow. That's time wasted. Now, not to say that if you met them in person, like you said, they wouldn't lie and you'd find out.
Okay.
But there seems to be more of that online. And then some guys, even though it's one of those sites that are quote unquote for relationships versus the swipe left, swipe right, all they do is come at you with sexual conversation.
Okay.
Like immediately.
Isn't that like just gross? I mean,
Yes,
it's
it is.
It's one thing to even like, get all like act all freaky in person. At least you can say, hey, I'm good, bro. I know some strong women that know how to like turn a brother down without hurting their feelings. But just online, it's either like all out, all of a sudden here's a picture. What's going on?
Right. And they don't care, because they have the comfort of being in their own home. They may take a little while to get to that point when you're talking in person.
And let's not leave out the females, y'all. Hey man, I'm sorry, y'all got some nasty females out there too, man. It's cray out there. If I wasn't married, I'd be the male urban spinster, but I'd be the bitter one. I swear, Eva, I'm telling you right now, babe. If after you, there is no more. I'll be a hermit for the rest of my life, because I'm good. I see all the cray out there, so I'm good.
Yeah.
But you're out there in it, but you're different, because your single is different than the single, and that's what makes it so interesting. Tell us about your version of single and what makes it so special.
I think, again, my version is because I'm not chasing.
Okay.
We have all of those people who are telling us that there is something wrong if you're not married by 30, or they just assume you are. I have coworkers that don't know my personal life. They just look at the outside and they say, oh, I thought you were married with kids. Why? We never had that conversation,
Wow.
But that's the box that people try to put you in to make your life make sense to them.
Okay.
And because I've made all those bad choices, and it cost me time and money in some cases, and heartache, I have to follow my instinct. I was one of those people who would see the red flag and say, maybe I'm tripping. Because I had you're too picky.
Right. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, well, let me see. Let me give him a chance. I love Afion Crockett has a new comedy special out right now. He talks about how the guys approach the ladies, and the ladies are just so nice. And so, oh, well, let me just see. We know immediately you ain't it, But because we're so worried about dying old, alone, and, oh, I don't have any kids, on my biological clock is ticking. I mean, and that's a real thing as far as, if you want to have children naturally. But there's all other ways that you can have children nowadays if you truly want to be a parent. I'm at that age where I do not want children. The men I date, I'm okay with them having children, but I have some standards about that as well. I don't do a whole bunch of baby mamas. I've been there, done that.
Right. Oh, man, Hey, I don't do that, you know. So you date. So like again, like it's confirmed, guys. Not bitter, not angry, just self confidence. Well, let me ask you this: how do you lead others? You know, Let's talk about urbanspinster.com. I mean, because that definitely is a catch all. Reading your bio, how do you lead others to the confidence in that? How do you help people lose the bitterness with your walk?
I think you have to try to get people to really do that reflection. Okay, what part did you play in this? Because it's not all, oh, these guys and they don't know what they want and they're players and all this kind of stuff. We have to take some kind of responsibility.
Wow. I knew this was coming. See, I told you I know the best. All the people I know are credible and accountable. So accountability. Talk about that.
So for me, my accountability was, okay, now, were you bored when you picked up that phone and called this guy? Or what was really going on with you? And that happened to me, I can say, at least 3 times, 3 occasions, where I met a guy. I knew from maybe the first or second date or phone call, we weren't compatible. But I'm sitting around not doing anything one day and say, you know what? Let me see what Ronnie is doing.
Right. And just out of boredom.
Out of boredom.
You call poor Ronnie.
And then we have this
Wow.
off again, on again, tumultuous type of relationship where I didn't even have to go there. You know, and that's what causes the bitterness is when you're like, well, this person wasted my time and he won this and blah, blah, blah. But you knew that over there. You know?
And it's funny. I'm glad you're saying it because no matter, how do I say this? No matter if it comes from a man, some kind of way, from the purest intention, it's like victim bashing, So I'm so glad that you said it because if I said it, I'm definitely gonna get an email like, hey, why are you victim blaming? Why are you blaming the victim? No, man. Hey, I gotta hold myself accountable for things, as a male, as a human being too. So getting people to walk. So being single. What are the benefits to the urban spinster, Sadia Sander? Give us some benefits of in your walk, in confidence of what being single is about.
It's so much more peaceful, and I think that in itself is enough, where you don't have to worry about arguing with anybody or getting in situationships where I've dated a narcissist. I didn't even know he was a narcissist.
Oh, we
got
to talk about that. Now we don't say names because I don't, because once you trigger a narcissist, they're trying to kill you the rest of your life. I don't want to beat up another narcissist in my life.
But I didn't even know what that was at the time. So just having that peace of mind, and I was so proud of myself because a narcissist always will call you back.
Yes.
They always come back around because they have that need they're trying to feed. And then we're so naive, we're thinking, oh, they just love me. They just couldn't get enough of me. And that has nothing to do with you. That's them and they're crazy.
Wow.
But every 2 years or so, here's that text, here's that phone call. And I got that text. I was driving down the street one day and I'm like, and it always shocks me because it'll be years in between. So you don't expect it. Your guard is down. So when I got out, I blocked the number. And I was so proud of myself because had that been 2-3 years ago, I would have entertained the conversation and, oh, how you doing? Oh, well, we just catching up. And then that turns into now I'm back in the drama, knowing that it's not going to last. He's going to get bored, get what he needs, whether that be time or attention or whatever. And then he's out. And then here I am picking up the pieces of my heart again. So that's also what causes the bitterness that you spoke of.
So I'm going to say a word, and I want you to tell me what it means to you in your single stature. Freedom.
Oh my God, it's wonderful.
Now tell our single ladies out there and men what it's like to be not out there slaying and single, but out there in your confidence. What is it like being free?
Free? Oh my goodness. I think it gets worse for me as I get older because I don't want to give it up.
No,
because I can do whatever I want. I mean, I'm at that age where I'm starting to have hot flashes. I can turn the air up. I can turn it off. I can lay across the bed.
I'm a victim of the hot flash burglar. My wife, I'm blinking twice. Y'all need to help me. Hot flashes are no joke. I'm sorry.
It's hot. It's cold. It's hot. But just those little type of things. On my second home, I bought one home, sold it, bought another one. I didn't have to ask anybody's permission. If I want to paint the walls, all blue, red, green. It's on me. But with that, and I just had a podcast episode about this because I'm seeing more kind of single positivity blogs and Instagram pages and things like that come up, but all they're promoting is the party. Oh, we can go party, we can have brunch, we can drink, we can be by the pool. But when you're single, you have freedom, but you also have all the responsibility.
Okay.
So it is not for the weak. You can't be a damsel and think you're going to be single and have it both ways. If you're going to be a damsel in distress looking for a captain to save you, then that comes with certain things. He's going to expect certain things of you. If he's calling all the shots, he's got all the money. Like, we see the housewife culture and all of that kind of stuff. So being single and confident is also a lot of responsibility.
Do you find that in your confidence in being single, there's an upgrade of suitors coming your way? Because I
No.
found because
Not at all.
Because I was gonna say I have always been in love with strong women. I've dated weak women before, but then when I met my wife, I never met anybody more strong in my life. She could take it or leave it. I fell in love with her because she didn't need me. She just wanted to be with me, but she could drop me off, which she did about 3 or 4 times in our relationship. And I didn't like that, but it grew me up, So you say no. So,
But see, what's weak when you say you've dated weak women? What is a weak woman to you?
okay, I was gonna say I'll say her rhyme name. We call her Big Booty Bonita, right?
Okay.
So it's like I was getting ready to go off to college, and the great girl, great family, I mean, man, it was real. That was like my real first, like my first love, whatever, But I started to mature and I started to get ready to go to college, and she had to go away, whatever, to another state. I don't want to get into it too much because I don't want to give too much away, because she's still a cool person. Then I met Eva, and the difference was, one was like, oh, you gonna go to college and then you're gonna take care of me, it doesn't like it. Well, I work at McDonald's. For some reason that answer didn't sit right with me. I was like, even mom was like, yeah, you gonna take. And then meeting Eva was a whole new level, where she was like, oh my God, I'm bragging about my wife. Oh. She sat up straight. She was goal oriented. I don't think she even cared, wasn't even looking for a relationship. Like I wasn't looking for relationships in college for another reason, but she just wasn't. She was just super duper focused. And there's something about that strength that made me want to do better if I wanted to get with this girl. I was like a D student in college. I raised my grade to a C+ just to stay halfway impressive. If I missed a test, I was afraid to tell her because I thought she would drop me off. That's the kind of strength that I like. But I guess you're saying, which I hear a lot of women are bitter about, is there are a lot of jokers out there, right?
Yeah, or because there's so many women who, especially at a certain age, are just looking to latch on because they keep hearing, you ain't getting no younger, girl. You better, get him, or he ain't that bad. If he ain't beating you, then don't worry about it. If he got a good job, then he can do X, Y, and Z.
2021, you got sisters talking like that?
Well, I mean, they're getting that from the older generation. So you have these women who are, if you have a good job, you're an educated man, especially if you don't have any kids. And I mentioned that on Fox Soul when we were talking. It's like women are just like, here, hey, hi, and they're doing the pursuing. And one of the hosts was saying that he doesn't like that. He would rather be the aggressor versus the woman because he feels like, okay, well, if you giving it up to me, well, who else are you? But there are a lot of men who want to take the easy route. They don't want to pursue.
Well, I want to give a plug to that. Like last week, she killed it on Fox Soul. She was on the Mike and Donnie show, and of course she had a expert panel. But man, she rocked it, and that segment came up. So guys, you can go to foxsoul.tv if you want to check up. Click on the episode, man. Mike and Donnie. When did it come on?
It came on. What day was
that?
Wednesday.
It was like a Wednesday on a Wednesday.
It was last week Wednesday.
Just check it out, man. And she was on the panel, and I mean that's really what kept me on. I said, man, I got to have her on this show. It's amazing.
Even though I've known him forever.
Yeah, but you have no idea how much you discover about a person when the circles start connecting. Unreal, unreal. All right. So again, if you want to talk about being happy and single, now, I mean, I like to hear a call if you're happy and single. And yeah, if somebody's just like, hey, this is all BS. This single life sucks. You can call 2323815-4204. All good. If not, we just going to chop it up and continue to talk. All right. Shouts out to Mike and Donnie. That is the title of their show. I don't want to say chop it up. Here's one. So you have another site that talks about financing being single. Yeah, I mean, you talk about everything from financial to talk about that website.
So with the singlewomansagenda.com that everybody can go to and
Singlewomansagenda.com.
Yes,
guys.
no apostrophe.
Right.
Just thesinglewomansagenda.com.
So I'm looking here, and we were talking about single for ownership, for mindset. Let's talk about ownership. What are we talking about here for single women and ownership? What
Specifically, we're talking about home buying.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of women, especially in that Gen X age group, who were told that, well, you had to have a husband. Mm-hmm. And even the banks or whomever else usually ask you too. If you have a husband, well, is there someone else that's going to be on the loan with you, and all the kinds of, and just the money. Mm-hmm. I'm a single person who had to have multiple side hustles and a full-time job.
Okay, hold that thought. We got a call.
Okay.
Because
should I pick it up?
Yeah, you should.
Okay.
because you are my guest. Hey, welcome to Mentorship Moments. Each one teach one. I'm your host, CJ. Got my guest, the Urban Spinster. What's your name?
My name is Pepper.
Pepper. That's a great name.
Pepper.
How you doing?
I am well. How are you?
Oh, I can't complain. So I hope you're enjoying the show. What side of the aisle are you on with this single life?
Well, I am single, but I am a person who believes in the dating site. So I love Sadia, but I disagree with her about the dating site.
Okay,
so I just wanted
debate.
to make a comment about that.
Go for it. We ready.
So, I like the dating sites. It's a lot of work. But I disagree with Sadia in that I think you need to know what you want and what you are looking for. You have to use a lot of discernment, because I think there are decent people out there. I believe that if you want a relationship, you have to look for it. I think the difference is you don't become frantic about it. I love that you pointed out Sadia's confidence, and you need to be a confident person when you're dating. I love you talking about your wife's confidence. I think that is extremely important. And knowing what you want in a relationship is important. So, number one. Number two, it's not having this idea of what you want, a list of things, but not being a hardcore person where you're inflexible with your list. I think that's the other thing that women should look into. The dating sites provide an opportunity for me to expand, an opportunity to meet other people, to meet other men.
Well, let me have you hold that thought. I don't want to. Let me have you hold that thought just for a minute, because I want Sadia to respond, and then because this is good. I love disagreements. I love differences of opinion. So
we've had this conversation. I know Pepper.
Oh, okay. Go. I want to hear. You, all right, go for it.
So no. But yeah, so Pepper knows I cannot stand dating sites. But
right.
I've also never been married, and I think I've been single a lot longer. So I may just be like, okay, I'm over it.
Okay.
Where with Pepper, I think it's still fun and fresh, and hey, I am looking to meet someone, so let me go out and kind of put myself out there.
Okay.
Whereas I'm at the point where I'm like, find me if you feel like it.
Wow. And it's Pepper's down, because I used to give this advice. I wasn't looking for relationships. And when I met Eva, day 2 of college on a Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. That's 8:30 a.m. That's when I met my wife, and I was like, that's it. I was not. My goal was just to. I'm sorry. I was about to. I'm in college. It's school days. I'm about to mow it all out, right? And then I met her, and that was it. So I just what is the? How do I want to say this?
Just say
I'm trying to say it right. I never want to say things, never say things wrong. So I'm, you know, so that my goal was just to like just mow them down one by one, and it stopped. So the advice I would give, okay, I know exactly what I'm going to say. The advice I would give in exact words to young people looking for relationships is, and even older people that are frustrated is, stop looking for relationships, and then they'll fall into your lap. That was my philosophy. What do you guys think about that? I'm curious.
I mean, that's how I am now. But there was a time where, like I was sharing with you earlier, I did have a little bit of that desperation because I was not used to being single for any length of time.
Mm-hmm.
If I was seeing a guy and he started getting on my nerves or he started tripping a little bit, I already had somebody else that I was about to talk to. So it's like, you're done.
God,
Next.
you're worse than a dude. Pepper, was you rolling like that?
No,
She goes.
but see, I am a recovering people pleaser too. So
Me too.
that. I mean, it's and Sadia nailed it when she talked about the problems with people pleasing and not seeing yourself in and not letting the other person see themselves and no accountability. But I think sometimes, and especially Black women, and I get it, we can be very open, and then we can become very, very hard.
Ooh,
So if you
yes,
don't
Lord.
have this, you don't have that. So the way I'm dating today is from the inside out. I do have things that I like. You need to be smart. You need to be athletic. You need to be kind. And then there's these other things that you need to have that goes without saying, honesty and loyal, that kind of stuff. That goes without saying. But those things are important to me in terms of interacting. But I don't want to. I want to have this physical. Obviously, physical attraction is important.
Yes.
But there are certain things you can fix and certain things you can't fix. Can you fix the heart? That's hard to fix. But somebody's shoes or nails or teeth or whatever, that kind of stuff you can kind of fix and work on that. So
Pepper,
I've got a different approach to dating. I don't want to be a hard ass. Oh, I don't know if I should say that.
Oh, you know what? It's okay. No. I like to keep it real. I'm not much of a cousin until you piss me off. But if you slip one out like a airful fart, it's okay. All right.
Right. Okay. All right. But I think a lot of Black women become very hard and bitter. I'm so glad that you and Sadia talked about that too. They become. I am not that girl. I don't want to be that girl, but I don't want to be the doormat. I don't want to be easy, and I don't want to be this people pleaser anymore. I want to celebrate my value and bring that with me to the table. And knowing what you want is extremely important, with some flexibility for the other person.
Wow.
I want to give people the benefit of doubt, but not to the point where they take advantage of you. So that's why I respect Sadia. I love Urban Spinster. It is the bomb.
Me too.
But I disagree with my sister on the dating site tip and dating. So we can agree to disagree.
Well,
I love your show too, by the way. You guys are doing great.
Oh man, thank you so much, man. It's like thank you
Pep.
for calling. It's a dream come true. You got any other problems with your girl Sadia? We can straighten it out right now.
All right.
Oh, no.
All right. You guys carry on. I'll keep watching and listening. It's a good show. Thank you.
Thank you. Tell a friend. God bless you. Bye-bye.
God bless
Bye.
you too.
Awesome. Man, I love you. And you know what? It's okay to have a difference of opinion. I'm listening to her and yours, and there's common ground. And she sounds like a confident person that actually likes the dating sites. And forgive me, I'm not trying to trash dating sites. I know some guys that are pretty that are in it, but maybe some are in it for the wrong reasons. And there are some real matches that have been made on these websites. But I kind of like where you're going because, listen, I have 2 daughters that are very confident, and I appreciate that about it. And I would rather hear from a person like you that's not bitter about men, and they got their mom too. I haven't made my wife bitter yet, so, and they're grown now, so it's too late. They already love their dad, a level of confidence and self-respect and self-dignity, that's important for young women and old women. So, what do you think about that?
Definitely the confidence is key because of the societal pressures. You can lose that confidence. Oh, we got another
we
call?
got another call.
Hey,
oh my
it's
God.
popping.
Oh, gee, look. Hey, you're on Mentorship Moments, each one teach one with your boy CJ, Cleon CJ Joseph. How you doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Oh, you're in trouble now. We got a man. We got a man. It's on. It's on. Man, thank you for backing me up, man, because there's way too many. I got 2 cats down here in the studio that are female. I got 2 females. Oh, man, I got my wife looking at it. I need backup, bro. All right.
Yes, I'm glad you called.
How you doing? What's your name, brother?
This is a quill.
Oh, man, Aquil, brother Aquil. How you doing, my man?
Pretty good, man. Love the show.
Oh,
Love
man.
the show.
Man, thank you, my brother. I really appreciate you following, man. Speak on it, man. Let's talk about that single life, man. You know, it sounds like that's beyond your days, but sounds like you got something.
You trying to say?
You trying to say something, you know? Talk to me.
Hey, you know I got my queen over here that I adore and I love, man.
Yeah.
But I wanted to chime in on what I think is happening, and I wanted to get feedback from you guys.
Okay.
As far as single, beautiful, amazing black women. What I see, even when I was single, years ago, is these amazing women would choose like guys that wasn't good for them.
Oh, bruh.
And
Let me chime in on that. So you got this fine, and you know back in the day, man, how you see, and they would just find the rugginish, thugginish, pants sagginish, and booty butt cheek out in this Jerry curl having this pimple popping dude, and you're like, what?
And each one got 5 years.
Yeah.
That can take you. 3 guys can take you from 25 to 40. 3 guys.
Yeah.
Depending on how long you gave that guy.
That's called mileage, my brother.
You know, when a lot of women, these amazing women, is running out of time when it comes to dating, because most people think they should date one guy at a time. This is the way most of us are taught.
Mm-hmm.
Then at a certain point, you say, you know what, I just give up.
Wow.
And there's a lot of amazing men out here, but if you are addicted to the bad ones, and then you say, okay, I quit, if I can't have that,
Right.
then I quit, then I don't understand why women quit before they try stuff. It's like if I was dating and all I liked was strippers.
Wow.
Right? It's like unless I can have a stripper, I'm not gonna go for anything else.
Well, first of
I
all,
just wanted to see, are these amazing women not giving a different type of guy?
well, let's break this up in let's break this up into time warp, because there's always been a stage, you know, and I know growing up, because is there an attraction? Is it true to the thing of the attraction of a bad boy? Talk about that. And stay on it, Quill.
I have to speak for me specifically. The bad boy is who liked me.
Okay.
I didn't go after the Crip, the blood, you know, whatever. Even though I was growing up in South Central, of course, that was what was happening in the 80s, especially. But they always liked me. And because of the people pleasing thing, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to like who likes me. Let me see, you know, what's going on here. Because the guys who were the athletes or the scouts were looking at them for college or whatever, that's not who talked to me. The thugs are who talked to me.
And I think that goes to Aquil, your point. I think we don't know. A lot of these girls were good girls, but they were just as insecure. I'm gonna tell you something, man. I went to Poly, you know, and I remember personal training.
So did I.
Yeah, that's right, Jackrabbits. That went. I remember a girl that I was training as a client years later, and she said, back in the day, Cleon, I had the biggest crush. You know, you and your brother Dion was the finest thing. And I was like, wait a minute. Everybody was calling me Gumby in high school. You know, man, you was dating football players such and such. You know, Willie Buff Butt, whatever. You know, and you know what she said? she said I was too shy to talk to you because you were like a really good dude. Can you relate to that, Aquil?
Man, I totally can relate to that. It was just women that was drop dead gorgeous that you didn't know they had the same insecurities that we had.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
And these guys that was quote unquote the bad boys, they had the rhythm, they had the approach that necessarily guys like us didn't necessarily have.
And they didn't take no for an
And,
answer either. And they didn't have anything to lose, you know. And as you get older,
right,
I think back to, I've always had my own place. When I moved out of my parents' house, I had my own apartment. And I went from my own apartments, like 2 apartments, to home owning. And there was never a time that some guy I was dating needed a place to stay.
Man, that's so
This is
trifling,
the
but so
first
true.
time. This is the first time that I've been on my own in my own space. Well, first of all, I'm not dating anybody, but that I wasn't dating anybody who fell on hard times or was bad with money, mishandled, didn't save, and that's how they found themselves in these situations. And I'll be like, oh well, I guess well, we together. I guess I should let you come stay with me. But I was hiding it because I really didn't want him to stay there. Like, don't answer the phone because my mama called.
You were still.
I was still, in that mindset. But the bad boys have nothing to lose, and they see you as, oh well, she got a job, she got a car, she don't have no kids. Let me see what's up with her. So
Now let me.
that happens
I
too.
like what you're saying because now I'm gonna take a different spin, guys. At Quills, I wonder if you ever thought about this now. Now that we're bringing this out of the Pandora's is out the box, right? To the bad guy that we thought that was winning. Do you think were they preying on the weak, or their life was so messed up they needed to attach something to something that was good? What do you think, looking back at it now?
I think everybody on planet Earth pretty much want the same thing. And a lot of these women that were such eye candy, right? Everybody wanted it, and I don't think at that time these women, these girls, when we were back in the day, knew how amazing they were.
Well, let me ask you this:
Because we would always talk about it. We would always talk about, oh my God, look at her walk, look at her talk. Her hair is beautiful. I mean, all of these things.
Yeah, man. I had a lot of tired nights myself thinking about that.
But see, y'all wanted the big booty, the big boobs, and all of that. Y'all didn't want the smart girl who was cute and kept her hair done and had a 2-parent household. Y'all wanted the freaks. Y'all wanted the.
Now I'll admit there's only one freak I wanted, but most 90% of the time I wanted the right girl. I was always looking for Miss Olive Oil, Miss Marianne from Gilead. I was looking for those type of just clean. But there was a couple of I was like, okay, yeah, let me see if I can put my thug hat on, and I wasn't very good at that. It was pretty embarrassing. So let me ask you this, Aquil, from a man's perspective, and I really love how where this is going. If somebody had a mentor, who is strong and single and not bitter, like the Urban Spinster here, would you think that would be a positive in your eyes?
I think it would. To just help bring balance to that space.
Yes.
Right? You need role models. You need mentors to guide you through. Because if you don't have that mentor, right, you can literally get depressed. You can get down on yourself or whatever. But by having someone like her to sort of guide you through and help you find yourself in that space, I think you have a greater chance of rising up. Not to say you're down, but you have a greater chance of finding that balance in that space for yourself.
Well, I think you said the best thing here, balance, because there's no right or there is right, there's wrong, there's evil, there's good. But when you find balance, balance gives you options, my man. Hey, Quill, I want to thank you so much for calling. This is great because it leads me into the next few questions. Brother, thank you so much for calling, all right?
Thank you guys. I enjoyed the show, and I'm hang up, keep listening. I've been like trying to get through. I'm panicking on the phone. Hey, man, I want to talk to these two people, amazing people. So we want to thank you guys for just putting on an amazing show, and I can't wait to see some in the future.
Man, thank you. Tell a friend, man. We're going to grow this thing big, man. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, bye. So he said something that was pretty interesting that leads me right into where we're going. I find, and you tell me if you agree, that when you're single, when you're married and going through it, when you're depressed, one of the remedies is getting busy in the other things. And we were talking about the singlewomanagenda.com, and you were talking about ownership, filling your life with ownership. But there are other subjects, mindset, money. I mean, filling yourself with missions of finance. Tell me about that. What you do with that?
Well, I wouldn't say it was a mission per se versus a necessity.
Okay.
Because I'm an only child, so that probably helps. that that I can entertain myself, and I don't need a whole bunch of
that explains
extra.
That explains it. Okay.
You know, I'm fine being in my own company because I had my whole life to enjoy who I was, you know, to a certain extent. Of course, you have those pressures and you get those moments where you're like, I really want to go to a concert with someone, or, you know, I'd like to take a walk on the beach with somebody, or what have you. But with the money, of course, comes more opportunity. And I always knew I wanted to own my own home. I didn't want to rent. And there's nothing wrong with renting, because home ownership, another level of responsibility. You know, everything is on you.
Oh, trust me, I know.
And with you being a single woman, you have to think about people trying to take advantage of you. So before Akil called, we were talking about all the side hustles and all the things that I had to do to be able to afford a certain lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So that's why I kind of get like, you know, with the social media and Instagram, because all they want to promote is the highlight reel and the party, and not the grind.
Oh man, the grind or the grit, as we say, as I'm studying it in college right now. The grit it ain't no joke.
Right, but it's worth it because you've done it on your own, and even when you do have a partner, should you decide to get married in the future, you bring something to the table. You bring all that experience and that knowledge so that you both can thrive together. Whereas they're not depending on you, you're not depending on them. You want to become a whole person by yourself first, because if you're relying on someone else for your happiness, that's not fair to them.
And I know you're not like actively looking, but you said something that pinged that. Now, something that I fortunately had, because I had an incredible woman that I say to this day grew me to a degree. You know, I'll tell you a story. One day, Eve will have the confidence to get on the chair. I was unemployed for a little bit, and I fell into that weak brother zone where I was becoming trifling. You know, I had a T-shirt with an iron on. I remember going to her house. My restaurant closed down and everything, and I was in between jobs. For the first time in my life, I had to look for a job outside of the family business. And my wife was cool. She had her own place, right? Paying her own mortgage. And, you know, at the time, you know, we were still dating. And one day I was becoming that brother. I was depressed, and I felt like, I don't want to hang out at home with my parents, because I'm a grown ass man home with my parents. So I'm just going to kick it at my girl's house, right?
So like, that's different.
So I was trifling, right? I was becoming trifling. So there was one day I was like sleeping on the couch, and my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, we weren't even engaged, had enough. I woke up with a job application on my chest. And one was to be like a fragrance model. Thank you, babe, for seeing how sexy I am. And one was working over the counter in the mall where she worked. She was fed up, and she was like, "Hey, you need to do something." Well, since I wasn't working in the mall, I ended up being a law enforcement officer, which is okay. I was a model law enforcement officer. But that's the kind of woman that I was dealing with, and I loved her enough to change and be that strong.
See, that's the key. You loved her enough to change. We cannot change you.
Wow.
And that's because we're told that, girl, you can fix him up. Girl, if he doesn't want to do it and he doesn't see the value enough in you and your relationship to make whatever the change that's necessary to be made, he ain't gonna make it.
So you're not. Here's what I'm gathering. You tell me if I'm wrong, and because I want to get into the website a little more. You're not. It's not like you're like lower. You're not even looking to lower or raise your standards. It sounds to me that you're looking to match the strength, and with that, with the strength comes the friendship. Is that what we're saying?
Well, too, I mean, I would say I know what my deal breakers are.
Okay.
At this point, and I'm not willing to. Pepper may say that's me being inflexible, but I've dated enough. I mean, Pepper's been married before. I've never been married, so I've been out here a long time.
Long time in the streets, yeah.
I've been a long time, so I'm like now, because I didn't follow those instincts before. So now I know me enough to say, okay, when I see someone who's emotionally unavailable, who will pull you in, and Pepper actually taught me about love bombing and narcissists, because what they're doing
I'm going to do a show on narcissism, guys.
Yeah,
I can't
you have
wait.
to.
I can't wait.
You have to. But the love bombing is they meet you, they're all over you. They're calling, they're going out, they're gifting, or whatever that thing is to get you hooked in emotionally. And then when they're done with whatever their need was that they got met, and it doesn't have to necessarily be sex. It could be, anything, to be just attention.
Right, attention, yeah.
They're done with you, and then you're over here like, well, what's that's the ghosting. They're calling, but then when the date is supposed to happen, they're standing you up, all those kind of things. So I know for me, when someone is emotionally unavailable, when they already telling me from the get-go, just one of my guy friends, he became my friend because I already knew it wasn't going to work from day one. I was like, oh, no.
Right.
You don't have the kind of time. It's like, well, let's go out, but okay, I'm only free on this date on this month, and he was having a calendar. I was like, oh no, this ain't going nowhere.
Wow. Put you on the calendar.
Yeah. Oh,
wow.
I had to be on the calendar. I was like, no. But in getting to know him, cool brother, just not for me as far as a romantic relationship. But I found out also what his baggage was, and that's why he keeps himself busy so he doesn't have to engage too much and get emotionally caught up, because he's said out of his own mouth that he has an issue saying no to beautiful women.
Okay.
And so he had been married in the past, didn't go well, and he kind of allowed this woman to just kind of lead him around by the nose. So now that's his defense mechanism, even though he wasn't even aware of it.
Right.
He's like, okay, let me just stay busy, and then I can only fit you in here or here. That's not going to work for me.
Wow. So he's doing it wrong to where his was a mechanism, but yours is actually like, I'm a whole person. See, I see two different things. Yeah. He's still, we didn't say his name, right?
No.
So he's still toxic, because I don't want to do no jujitsu today. And he's still toxic. You're not toxic. And this is where I want, when I really hope, and my daughters watch a lot of my shows, and I really want them to watch this one, because you've got your shit together.
And I wouldn't say, because he's probably watching too, but I wouldn't say he was toxic, but if that's what you feel like you need to do.
Well, you need help.
Until you can say, okay, you know what? I acknowledge this is my issue. So but we've argued about it. He's like, what? I'm not emotionally unavailable. Dude, yes you are. Yeah. And I see where it came from, because we got to be friends, and, he became more open. But I know that doesn't work for me.
Guys, I want you guys to go to two places. First of all, Instagram. Give your Instagram. I want to make sure we get that out there.
I am on all social media at Urban Spinster XO. That is Urban Spinster XO. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. But make sure you visit the website, thesinglewomansagenda.com. Again, that's thesinglewomansagenda.com, because I have a free gift for everyone watching when you go to that website. And
I'm telling you, it's more than just the sister girl get together, snap, I hate men and whatnot. It's not that. I went through the site. I'm impressed. She's talking about the single woman's agenda for ownership, for mindset, for relationships, for lifestyle, for money. So I think these are all the strong suits that she's tied together. So when I can't wait to see the dude that you snag or he snags you. That guy's going to look like Billy D. Williams. Half of y'all don't even know who Billy D. Williams is. Y'all don't know. Jim Brown, y'all don't know who that? No.
You gotta come a little,
How about
more current.
more Chestnut? No, that's still a little our time.
That's 90s.
Who's the relevant?
Who's the dude now?
Who's the dude? I'm the dude, goddamn.
Michael Ealy? I don't know.
No, he's a little out there. No, I'm just playing. Oh, no, we're just having a good time, you know. So please go to this site because it really is about uplifting and man, I hope there are some young women and men watching this. It's about, because it's a human experience. Self-worth is a human experience. Again, guys, go to foxsoul.tv. If you want to check out the episode, what was the title of your episode?
Mine was Things You Wished Your Parents Had Taught You.
Yes, and it comes out there. Hey, listen, your boy was on yesterday. Hopefully you saw that one. It was about finding your purpose, man. And
that was a good topic.
It was a good topic, and it's nice to be amongst other credible people talking about things. So definitely go check out each episode. You know, of course, I'll tell you guys the links who are in the fan club. Look, the callers, thank you for calling. Keep calling. Keep spreading the message of mentorship moments. Each one to you. This is a wellness show.
Yep.
But there's a big circumference. It's not about all my muscles and push-ups and sit-ups. Man, y'all would have left my show a long time ago if I was just talking about that. You know, self-control, self-confidence brings you back to the gym and work out. You know, we got to put them wraps back on and box again. But it's all this quarantine and boo crap, you know. So any parting words, any other events that you have going right now, any place you want to guide people to, man, the stage is yours. You know, we're going to be seeing Miss Sanders more often in the studio here. Oh, no, you. Oh, no. I think I need a partner right about now. So we're going to be talking, all right? Anything else you'd like to say to our audience? Any parting words of inspiration? I like to leave with that.
Well, again, with Urban Spinster, we are celebrating single. And although I'm the face of the brand right now, Urban Spinster is a brand and not just myself, Sadia Sanders. So I want to encourage
Where did Urban
all
Spinster
the
come from? What does that
mean?
mean?
Let me explain what a spinster is.
Thank you.
Spinster is a woman, that's a term from the early 1800s, and she could only support herself financially by spinning thread and yarn and selling those items in the marketplace, as it were, because if you weren't married, you had to fend for yourself. No husband meant no financial stability. So as deep. Time went on, the spinster was associated with someone who was not married past a certain age. So you see in the movie, she's the cat lady with the glasses. She's the librarian. She's unattractive. She's, homely. And Urban Spinster, to me, is someone who's confident, thriving, even in this single time. It's not a sad time. You may not get this time again. So do your work, do your self-reflection. If you want to buy that house, buy it.
She just flipped it. Won't black folks do it? Won't we do that? We will flip a rap song and make it into the best gospel song. I want to thank you for being on the show. And you'll be seeing her again, guaranteed. This is one of the people that I admire. I bring nothing but credibility. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. I believe we have a Valentine's Day story that I want to talk to you about, hopefully. I will see you in 2. We are the Village Mentorship Moments. Each one teach one.